Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today we are taking a look at this article that reads, Six Underground was a disappointment for Netflix and won't get a sequel. Though Michael Bay's Six Underground appeared to pave the way for multiple sequels, Netflix doesn't intend to turn it into a franchise. And personally, I'm actually quite saddened by it. Now, I did review Six Underground. I think if you're watching this on YouTube, it would be on my older channel. If you're watching this on BitChute or Odyssey, it is already here. Now, I did criticize the movie quite a bit, but I still admitted that it was a fun movie despite it being heavily flawed. And this would probably be this would be one of the easiest movies you can come back to for a sequel. But here's the problem with the movie, just in a nutshell, if you want to come back for a sequel. The first movie didn't really focus on the characters. No characters in the movie had any motivation except for Ryan Reynolds' 1 and 7. And that really was it. Everybody else was just kind of there to just fill out the team. Whereas had the first movie also focused a lot more on the character development, and then the sequels go balls to the wall with the action, it would have been better. But again, before I tangent, because I don't intend this to be a continuation of my Six Underground review, let's just get right into this article here. Netflix's film head says that the Ryan Reynolds starring Six Underground was a disappointment for the streamer and won't receive a sequel in December 2019. Netflix released Six Underground, explosive action flick from director Michael Bay. Reynolds played the enigmatic one, the leader of the vigilante squad of thought-to-be-dead individuals with impressive skills. Their goal: take down seemingly untouchable criminals. Six Underground was greeted with some decidedly mixed reviews, with many taking issue with Bay's typical over-the-top style and the film's muddled story. See, a muddled story in an action movie is typically not bad. If he just focused on the characters and less on the story, I think the movie would have been better. And yet, it still seemed like Six Underground could have received a sequel of some kind. There were a few plot threads left dangling by the end of the film, including a tease for 8 more missions. Add in the fact that Netflix has demonstrated an interest in building up more franchises, as well as Reynolds' star power, and it felt like there was more life left in Six Underground. However, in the months following the movie's release, there were few updates about potential follow-up. With Reynolds and Bay moving on to other projects, it began to look like Six Underground 2 wasn't in the cards. Now Scott Stuber, Netflix's film chief, has given a definitive answer on the future of Six Underground. There isn't one. While speaking to Variety about the streamer's future plans, Stuber touched upon the film, which cost Netflix a hefty $150 million. He admitted Six Underground was a disappointment, and thus there isn't much need for a sequel. Here is what Scott Stuber said, quote, "We didn't feel like we got there on that one creatively. It was a nice hit, but at the end of the day, we didn't feel like we nailed the mark to justify coming back again. There just wasn't that deep love. For those characters or that world." End quote. Well, like I said in the very beginning of this, the problem is that only 1 and 7 actually had any sort of character development in the movie, and everybody else was just there merely to act as a body. And that was it. That was the biggest problem, is you wanted to have a team-up action movie, but not focus on the team. You wanted to focus more on the action. But anyway, getting back to the article, the past year has given Netflix several franchise starters, with Extraction, The Old Guard, and Army of the Dead all resonate with audiences and getting follow-ups greenlit. Though Six Underground might have some ambitions about kicking off a globe-trotting action series, the lukewarm response to the film killed its chances. Instead of being a long-running performer for Netflix, it seems more likely that any major viewing numbers come around the time it premiered, but didn't last farther beyond that. For his part, Reynolds has several other Netflix projects on the way. Red Notice, another global action pick with Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot, will arrive in November, and the actor recently completed the Atom project for the streamer. Aside from that, one could say that the Deadpool movies are a far better franchise for Reynolds than anything Six Underground could have produced. It was an ambitious swing for Netflix, but sadly not everything becomes a hit. At least now there is some closure for those who might have been holding out hope for a sequel. And that's how the article ends. And this is the biggest problem with Netflix, is that if it's not a cultural phenomenon, they just shit can the project, whether it's a movie or a television series. I do think that Six Underground would have developed a decent following had you actually invested in the sequel. Okay, you come back and go, look, we're not going to spend $150 million again on the sequel. We're gonna have to do this for a lot less, but let's see if we can build out this audience. But no, because if it's not a massive hit, and if it doesn't remain a massive hit, then it's a failure to them. And I think that this is only going to hurt Netflix in the long run, because like I just said, Six Underground may have developed Six Underground and its sequels could have probably developed one hell of a following, but now that's something we're truly never going to know. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here before I tangent on for too long. Thanks so much if you stuck around for this long, and if you guys have been following me long enough, you know I am terrible at ending these, so I will just see you guys next time.